We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get 60 after Monday Night Raw?
What's going on, everyone? I gotta ask y'all, are you ready for a Friday episode of the Wrestling Republic Daily Broadcast? Because we back, we in full effect, and I am hosting, and I don't usually do this. It's gonna be an exciting one. We're gonna be predicting who Cody Rhodes will be facing next. Talk about Nick Khan's defense of the WWE ticket prices. Should the WWE bring back Total Divas? And we're also going to predict the War Games matches. Jam-packed show. It's a fun Friday, and I can't do this without an incredible cast. First and foremost, we're going to go with my brother out in the best sports city in the entire world. If you disagree, you are lying to yourself. Anthony, how are you, bro?
Doing all right. It's always fun to do these. Like you said, Shad, like you rarely do Fridays. So do I. Because I already have plans for tomorrow, so I couldn't do Saturday show. But this is fun. Doing topics that are fun and interesting, and that's kind of what this is. I'm very much looking forward to the Nick Khan conversation because I think that's going to be the most exciting. But let's get into this.
Yes, let's get into it. And I'm excited to talk about that one too, because there's a lot to talk about with that one. But last and least, more importantly, because he's a fan of a disgusting team, but I won't go too crazy on him. Obviously, a lot going on in the world of pro football. So prayers out to the Nealon family and stuff like that. But I can't, show love to the Cowboys, but I can show love to him and, give my condolences to him and everybody on his team. We got Dez, though. What's going on, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I appreciate that. That was really sad news yesterday that broke out. So it was really cool to see the NFL do a lot of stuff for them. I got to say, even though I don't like the Eagles and I got to rep my boys, even during the hard times, most of the people I know that are Eagles fans, they're actually pretty cool. So I got to say, even though I hate your team, you guys are cool. So I will say
that. I appreciate it. And yeah, man, the world of sports, obviously, man, these guys put so much on the line. And all I can say is before we start the show, man, if you got a loved one, man, make sure you tell them you love them. And check on your friends, man. Check on your strong friends too, man. You never know what anybody in this world is going through. So we will we'll start the show off of that, and we will start with the first topic because I wore this hoodie just for this topic. We're talking about the American Nightmare, Mr. Cody Rhodes.
You mean that guy?
there you go.
That guy?
Yep,
the weight belt.
Yeah.
God did too, yeah. He just obviously had a great title defense on Saturday Night Main Event, beat Drew McIntyre. We can put a feather in the cap for that feud. The question is now, we aren't in the Royal Rumble time frame. We aren't in the WrestleMania time frame. We're in this lapse prior to it, and we're wondering who he's going to feud with. Is it going to be a big time? Are they going to burn a big time person? Or are they going to go with someone maybe young, go with somebody on the, trajectory to get to the main event? There's a lot of options to go through, but I feel like a lot of the big time options are on the other show. We got to talk about SmackDown, obviously. We got to talk about the people in roster on that. I'm going to go ahead and get this to y'all first, and then I'll give you my answer. But I'm going to ask y'all, and all in the comments too, man, you go ahead and chime in who you think as well, because we will be showing comments. Who do you think Cody Rhodes will feud with next? Anthony, I'll start with you.
This is one of those interesting things because WWE, whether they want to admit it or not, they are struggling right now. And a lot of that gets thrown on Cody because he has the most prestigious title in the industry, the WWE Championship. However, a lot of this stems from topic number 2, which we will get into. A lot of that falls on him, but he's not responsible for ticket prices and such. We'll get into that. But I think after what we saw on Monday and Hunter saying the rumors are all that they want to shake it up. I felt Monday was a better show than we had seen. So I'm having hopes that that it would carry over to SmackDown. There's the never ending when will he feud with Orton? I They could go that route, but like you said, we are far enough away from Mania that I don't necessarily think they would burn him this soon. I would go with somebody different. To me, you can go to somebody in Cody's past, Aleister Black, man that debuted and took Cody out when he went to AEW. They have chemistry, they can work. I think that would be a good feud for Cody to have. Because you're not going to go to the Shinsuke route. You've already done that. There's not that many people you can really put in there with him unless you bring people up from NXT. It's really tough right now. The well is kind of dry on SmackDown for fresh talent for him to really feud with. No one wants to see him in Solo again. Jacob is out right now. Yeah, I know Jacob's a babyface. I ultimately think Cody's the one who took Jacob out. That's my personal thing, and I may be wrong on that, but that's where I think that's ultimately going to head because it's probably going to be Homelander. But I think Aleister would be a logical choice. I don't know really what else you do unless you're bringing somebody over from Raw or bringing somebody from NXT or I don't know. You bring over somebody from TNA. I don't know what you really do with this right now because WWE as a whole creatively has struggled this year. And it's reflective in the tickets and the ratings. And I think the industry as a whole has. I don't think any company in this industry right now in 2025 has had a better creative year than they did last year. I don't think there's any company right now that has really done that. TNA is obviously doing better with the promotion of WWE, but as a whole, creatively, there's really no major story in wrestling right now that I would brag and tell you got to drop everything and watch this. There really isn't, and I was afraid that was going to happen after the Bloodline story finished because I felt very much it was like Marvel when they did all the build up to Endgame. And I told my buddy, I'm afraid what comes next because you've peaked. There's not another peak right now. So, and wrestling ebbs and flows. It'll have a peak and then it'll have a downturn, then a peak again. They usually don't stay at the peak very long. So as a whole, WWE might be doing more money right now, but I don't know how long that's going to hold.
Yeah, and obviously that second part, just hold that thought because we will talk about it in more detail. But I don't disagree with you at all. I think 2025, especially on the WWE side, this is the first year that I feel like the criticism has been a lot louder from the general public. I feel like, people in our industry, obviously with wrestling podcasting, wrestling media, as well as fans online, have voiced their frustration, voiced their just pure like disdain towards a lot of the booking decisions. And honestly, man, after 40, that's when the roller coaster went down, and we haven't really gone up at all. And a lot of it does tie to I think there is a complete imbalance on Raw and SmackDown when you talk about roster. And I normally say it's with the women's side, which I still agree with, but even to the men's side, like you talk about Punk, Jey Uso, the Visions, like obviously Seth, like there's a lot more main event quality guys over there where SmackDown, like you mentioned, the pool feels a little bit drier. But to your point, Aleister Black, I think that's a great choice with the history and the chemistry with it. Like I remember Black Mass out the gate, knocked him clean, right? And he felt. I remember that was exciting to see him over there. And he's kind of coming off of the storyline with Priest. I think that wouldn't be a bad one. Obviously, you got some agreement in the comments. We got DCX Warlord saying it should be the Dark Father, Aleister Black, and I ain't gonna lie, that's a strong choice. Dez, I'm gonna pass it to you though. Who do you think should be his next feud? And also, I guess touch base of how you feel with the potential matchups, do you feel like there is something that's glaring that you're excited for, or is it kind of a lot of the similar thoughts that Anthony was saying too?
Yeah, I like it. I feel like Cody versus Allison would be a really fun feud. To be honest, I feel like the route they're going to go on is they're going to go with one more match with McIntyre and then have Randy Orton. It all depends where Randy Orton fits into this mix because, in my honest opinion, Jacob Fatu would be perfect right now. But Fatu's out. He's going to be out like until 2026. So like I said, it just sucks, man, because WWE's roster right now, you have a lot of guys that could be like that could face Cody Rhodes, but either they're on Monday Night Raw or they're out due to injury. And I know it sucks, but like that's just kind of what you have to work with in creative sometimes. So you gotta be like, okay, if this isn't gonna work, let's go with someone else. I think Cody and Drew should have at least one more match, but I agree. Aleister Black would be a really fun choice. I just don't know how far that feud would go into the year because, like you said, Shad, we're heading into Survivor Series, right? And I do believe Cody is going to face somebody, probably, like I said, McIntyre or maybe Orton as well, or in a triple threat match. But then after that, there's nothing for December. And then you got Saturday night's main event, which is the week before the Royal Rumble. So I don't like it feels like there's not a lot of time, but it's also like if they want to fit something in, I just don't know if it's going to have a long stay because I feel like the end goal is going to end up being Randy Orton. It just matters when they finally pull the trigger on it.
I like that. I think obviously we're waiting for that to happen. That's kind of like the history of with those two, the legacy, as you can say, that those two have. Um and yeah, honestly, I'm even going through the roster. There isn't a lot of options, but
It's slim
um
picking.
Yeah, it
Slim
is.
Pickens, I'm gonna pick something though. Because I think they need something box office. I think the WWE drastically needs something box office. They need a feud that will have the fans excited. And Cody needs to go against genuine adversity again. I think Cody at best is going on the chase or he's going against a tall task. That's why we loved him finishing his story. That's why we loved him getting his comeuppance against John Cena and everything tied with, the final boss and all that. That's where he's key. He needs to go against the numbers again. And I know a lot of people will be like, is he talking about the MFT? No. Cody needs to go against the Wyatt Six. Cody Rhodes versus Uncle Howdy, I think would be a interesting feud during this time frame. It would allow the Wyatts and Uncle Howdy to kind of do something of significance. And it would give Cody a big time, like just roadblock. But also, I think the storyteller, Cody's such a great storyteller. He's so good at, going against whatever it may be. People poke fun at him a lot of the stuff that happened in AEW and whatnot. You can't knock the guy for going ahead and being able to work and be a very good, like, dance partner of whoever it may be. The Wyatts need to do something of significance, though. Like, and I think that's more why I would say it. They don't need to beat Cody, but they can give you enough of the idea. Could they potentially get it? And also, it's just the fact that you put them in the main event type of picture. I mean, these guys have a ride made for them at Universal Studios, like, but they haven't done a whole lot of significance. They've kind of gone through a lot of the, mid card to tag team people, but Uncle Howdy to me, and a lot of what Bo is, I want to see him do something like that can make his, character mean something of significance and really pay homage to Bray in that rather than see, Loomis and Gacy and all these guys kind of do a lot of the tag team stuff. So for me, I don't think it's going to happen, but I will just put my name in the hat and I will say Uncle Howdy should be Cody's next feud.
Shad, I think you're right about one thing, especially, whether when you're a babyface champion and you're an underdog, which is Cody's MO, that's his good happy place. And in a lot of ways, it's like Hangman Page in AEW. You need the right adversary that makes you appear that you are against the wall, that you are going against a threat that legitimately has a chance of beating you. Whether it's, like you said, the numbers game, or you pull in a monster, because WWE really doesn't have the monsters like they used to, but you do have one that you got to bring up soon, and Oba Femi. Now,
Yeah.
Oba could be an interesting prospect there if you wanted to bring him up and make a dramatic impact, because Cody can eat the L. It won't hurt Cody. Cody's already Teflon, if you will. Like, I mean, there's a portion of the audience that hate him no matter what because they think that's the thing to do. And then there's the portion that loves him regardless. Cena had the same thing. You know, anytime somebody's the chosen one, the audience, there's a portion of the audience went, no, we have to anoint you the chosen one. But you did at 40. But now it's not the thing. Now you want the next flavor of the month to be pushed. That's how it operates. And it makes me just scratch my head a lot of times. Because, I mean, there was stuff at 41 when I was there where the crowd was cheering for certain people and booing others. And I'm going, I'm confused. And I watch this every week. I don't understand the logic here. Like, it was the weirdest stuff. They cheered. It wasn't on air, but they played Punk's old music. Fire Burns. Showing the old footage, they cheered. He comes out, they boo. Really? This seems confusing to me.
It's confusing.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So, yeah.
I mean, what Brian Danielson said, they're fickle.
Yes.
A lot of these people are fickle.
Fickle would be a good word for it. Yeah.
And that promo lives to the test of time. Good through a couple comments, and then we're gonna go to the next topic. We got Matt Williams saying, "What's wrong? Are you're Sami Zayn? I don't know. Are you me? That's me up there too." Thank you on that, man. We got Fernando Zayas saying, "Okay, so he asking me who has Uncle Howdy beaten to earn the title shot." Look, bro, this is the WWE. Okay, Tatum Paxley, who I adore and I think is the greatest of all time, lost all her matches in singles competition, and she's the NXT Women's Champion, and everybody's happy, including myself. Sometimes it just doesn't matter for them.
May I ask, how many title shots did Solo Sikoa get? And he has the worst win-loss record of anyone. And I kept complaining about that because I didn't think he was good enough to be challenging for the title. Not once, but multiple times.
Well, he does say Oba is an excellent choice, which, I think he's definitely someone that could potentially, he needs to get a world title out the gate. So we'll wait and see. But let's get to this next topic because Nick Khan was on air talking about the ticket prices and just the ultimate frustration of us fans noting that, John Cena's final match, we got to come out with a mortgage. And there's a lot going to it. And then in his quote, he says a couple years ago when TKO was put up, one of the first things we collectively did was reduce the non-television live events, which created more scarcity in the marketplace for our televised events, and our continued international expansion only furthers that. He says it creates more scarcity in the United States, which is a good thing in terms of overall gauge.
Supply and demand.
It's pretty much supply and demand.
That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, I've taken economics classes in my time in college. I understand how it works, and I understand what comes with it. The WWE, like I mentioned, I always want to say WrestleMania 40 is that special time and place where wrestling became, in the build up to it, wrestling became cool again to the general public, especially the WWE universe. We're gonna talk about the WWE universe in this standpoint because, whatever it is, they are the NBA, they are the NFL, they are the face of pro wrestling into that standpoint because it's what we all grew up watching. It's what everyone's familiar with. It's the most globalized thing, whatever it may be, right? And this is a guy who probably enjoys a lot of other outside products, including these guys. They could probably say the same thing as well to the WWE. It's not the thing is this: when TKO came in, I knew the marketing strategy they did with UFC and how expensive it is to go to UFC events. That has definitely clicked into the WWE, and they take advantage of the fans being so
hot industry.
Loyal. Hot industry and loyalty.
Yes.
Now let's fast forward to maybe this last month, specifically last week. SmackDown, ticket prices were high. Event status was a little low. A lot more empty seats, right? show was lower in views. Today, I looked at it. I think there's like 1,000 available seats still for today's SmackDown and whatnot. We keep doing this. What's gonna happen? Like, if you make it so pricey where it's not attainable, like the John Cena's last match is the perfect example. The cheapest seat is a nosebleed at the Washington Wizards Arena, which I know like the back of my hand because I've gone to games since I was a child, is almost $400. That is asinine. That is absolutely and crazy, and that is not fair. And like I mentioned, that's gonna be the driving force. Because here's the thing: if the product is hot and people want to come to it, they're gonna come to it. Product's not that hot right now, and you're overpricing stuff. That's the potential where you can start losing fans in the woodwork. Anthony, I know you have been licking your chops for this one, man. I'm gonna open the floor on this, man. What are your thoughts on Nick Khan's statements and just this whole fiasco with the ticket prices?
I am going to go to Jurassic Park, and Jeff Goldblum delivered a line that the scientists were too concerned on whether or not they could do this and not conscious enough of whether or not they should do this. And I feel that's the case with the ticket pricing. I get it. You had a hot hand from WrestleMania 40. I get it, supply and demand. I get all that. I have a business degree. I'm well aware of how that works. However, WWE is not the UFC. It is not that type of promotion. It will likely never be that type of promotion. It is one of those things that, yeah, sure, you can ask whatever you want to ask, and people could decide to buy it. They could decide not to buy it. But you're biting the audience's hands with this. You are burning your audience. And you can go, oh, we don't care. We're getting the money. Oh, the sponsor or this country's paying us to go to the show. And maybe you don't care. You could say whatever you want about Vince McMahon. There's a lot of negative things you can say. The one positive thing you can say is he kept prices attainable to families to go to shows. You have a family, you can't go to a WWE show. Unless you win tickets, you can't go. And Vince was cognizant of the fact that you gotta constantly renewing your audience, because there's people that grow out of it. There are people that find other interests. We're gonna watch AEW instead. There's always that thing. You're burning an audience. You're going to find out. And then, like, you could go there with the mentality. Nick Khan can go, and I know this isn't 100% Nick Khan, because there's people above Nick Khan that have openly said, this is what our plan is. That's great. But if you lose an audience, you may not get it back. And the blame's going to be on Triple H for creative and this and that. Oh, well, the ratings are down because of creative, or the ratings are down because, or the attendance is down because Cody's the champion. That's part of it. But the bigger part is people can't afford to go. It is not that great of an economy right now. Those in the States, there's a government shutdown going on right now. There are people that are not getting their paychecks going on right now. So, the last thing they're going to do is buy tickets to go see John Cena's last match. They're just not. They can't afford to.
In DC, might you add? Yes.
You are not going to forego your mortgage payment to go see John Cena's last match. You're just not. Most people won't. I'm sure there'll be somebody that would, but I'm saying for the most part, most people would not do that. It's one of those things that if I'm AEW at this point, or any of the competitors, mainly AEW because they're the ones with the money, you need to capitalize on this. You need to make the focus. We want the families. We want that. Now, I know the AEW diehards will have a problem with this, but we want to see Darby get, drowned in a fish tank on a pay-per-view, and this won't allow that. You need to think big picture, and that's always been the problem. And I said this with AEW, they don't go big picture. They just focus on the niche audience. WWE's always been really good at expanding that and getting casuals. I disagree with a lot of Vince Russo says, but the one thing is getting those that are not quote unquote diehard wrestling fans to watch. That builds up the audience. That's the way it works. I could say from personal experience, the last time WWE was here in August, I believe. I know I said this I had this conversation with Shad off air, but I was looking at tickets for Monday Night Raw in Philly. And the lowest I saw at the time was the 200 level, and I want to say it was like 110. I want to say on like TickPick, something like that. And I asked my buddy, I'm like, what do you think? He's like, I still think it's too pricey. So I ended up getting a thing a couple days later or whatever it was. And I'm assuming because WWE couldn't sell out that Raw in Philly, of all places, and they were struggling to sell tickets for the NXT the next night. I got two 200 level seats for $45 a ticket. So for $90, I had tickets to 2 shows. And, unless you're prepared to be doing that, because me as an audience member, I'm not paying that. And it's not so much that, whether or not you can afford to pay it. On principle, I'm not paying it. It's not a good enough product for me to put out that money. And I don't care if it's WWE, I don't care if it's AEW, whatever it is. If I don't think the product's worth it for me to put out the money, even if I have it, I'm not doing it. I'm a wrestling fan. I watch everything. Shad knows I have multiple the streaming platforms. I watch everything. Well, not everything, but mostly everything. So David goes a little bit deeper than I do. But I'll watch
David's
Ring
the
of
same
Honor,
way.
TNA, New Japan, WWE, AEW. I watch all of it. I want the industry as a whole to succeed. But that mentality of saying, well, we have a high demand of ticket. I'm like, you really don't. Not right now, you don't.
Yeah.
You did. But the industry ebbs and flows. The UFC just focuses on big fights. You're promoting big fights. You're not doing weekly TV. WWE is doing weekly TV. They're doing more pay-per-views than AEW than
For sure.
anybody does.
Yeah,
So
and
like
you're on the road nonstop, like to that point,
Yes.
on a weekly basis too. So
you know what I mean? Like, that's not the driving force. And I get it. You're making a ton of money with Saudi shows. You're making a ton of money for the international shows because these people are paying you to go there. And then these people are paying an arm and a leg for the tickets. I remember, what was it? Was the Backlash in France after WrestleMania 40? And they were like,
right? Yeah, French.
yeah. And they were like, this is the highest grossing, French crowd. I'm like, it's 17,000 or whatever. Like, how, like, really? Like, how, like, it was some small number of attendance. And I'm like, what were you charging per ticket?
And to your point on that, I mean, we have a lot of international people
Yes.
on our team, and they charge a lot because, to his point, quotes scarcity. It's not there as often. So I mean,
Yes.
it is definitely one of those things. I do want to get a couple comments
Yep.
through, and yeah, man, it's asinine. We got Mary Sis is in the building. Says, to me, as a super fan of Super Cena, to see the prices on his last match actually made her feel sick. That is absolutely true, man. Numero one
They're
saying
rough,
tickets
man.
are too expensive. They're doing a less for more mentality. Yeah, and like you mentioned, man, obviously they're gonna always be in the green because these international shows bring a lot of profit. So to the people who are on daily basis, man, it's definitely sad, but that is what we will go with. That we'll end on that note because we do have to pay a couple
I'm not
bills.
saying I'm not saying they can't course correct. I mean, they're not, but if you burn the audience too much, it may be too late. Is the gist.
You run into the potential with it, but let's talk about something real quick that is Wrestling Republic related. And that is everything that we got going on at Wrestling Republic. If you haven't already, check on this week's shows on demand. We got a lot of great content, man. If you haven't already, man, watch the Wrestling Republic weekly podcast. Myself, Clark, and Ben, we talked about who should be John Cena's potential last match. We also debated on another topics and gave you our factions of the week. Also, Allison analysis. Ben gives you his 5 key findings from this week in professional wrestling. We also have the top 10 options to retire John Cena match as well. Ben and Dez gave their list. And also today, we will be dropping the top 5 takes of the week from the Wrestling Republic Daily broadcast. Tomorrow, we are back with the broadcast. We are going to do a SmackDown review, Clark, Mary, and Ignacio. And then Sunday, myself, and I, Ben, Clark, and myself will be doing the Sunday Fun Day. So please make sure you tune into those shows that we got remaining. And yeah, let's get back into this show because we got a topic to talk about. Because I watched Chris Van Fleet this week. I'm a big fan of his. And he interviewed the so talented, lovely Maxine Dupree. Great interview if y'all haven't seen it. Maxine Dupree is a really cool person, man. She's got such a dope story. And she talked about her influence in professional wrestling. And that was the Divas era. But more so, that was the Total Divas era. Obviously, the reality TV show that used to air. She says she would love to see the Total Divas show return. Now, this one is tricky for me because I want to preface this. The word diva is a mixed bag to me because if you're my age, if you're Anthony's age, women's wrestling is not what it is now. Women's wrestling was very sexualized, was very misogynistic in ways, and they were looked at more for being eye candy rather than being pro wrestlers. Total Divas to me is not that, but I don't like reality TV, and I don't like it to be more so of the drama that these women go through rather than be the superstars that who they are. How I look at professional wrestling, I view Stephanie Vaquer the same way I view Cody Rhodes. I view Becky Lynch higher than I view a lot of the people that have championships, men or women. It shouldn't matter in that standpoint. And that's kind of where I'm a little bullish on it. But I will say this is an opportunity with a more fruitful roster on the end. You could potentially have a opportunity to have a lot of chaos within it, a lot of big personalities. I know she mentioned herself. She said she would love Chelsea Green to be in it, Tiffany Stratton, the whole 9. But I will ask you, Des, obviously, you say you ain't a big Total Divas fan yourself, but just knowing what you know about the show and knowing about where we are with the women's roster, would you be cool if they brought it back?
So I was actually thinking about this at work, and I think you really hit it on the head, Shad. It's the term divas. I find it really cringe. Like, whenever I hear that term, it just makes me, because like you said, it was very sexualized women's wrestling back then, right? It was all about eye candy. And now I'm not saying that's what the show's going to be, like you said. It's just whenever I hear that term, it's almost like a trigger where you're just like, man, I don't want to go back to those times, right? The women's wrestling nowadays is phenomenal. We have so many talented women wrestlers that are continuing to raise the stakes every single show. I do feel like, if you did mention Chelsea, Maxine, Tiffany, I guess, like, reality TV really isn't my thing. Like, the closest thing I watched to reality TV as a kid was like Total Drama Island. If anybody knows that, shout out. So I used to watch when I was a kid, or like AGT, American Idol, those type of shows. But for someone that likes it, and if some of the women wrestlers want to do it, like Maxine, Chelsea, Tiffany, Nikki, then, yeah, go for it. I didn't really watch the show, though. I'm not going to lie. I know some people really liked it. It's just not my cup of tea. But if you like it, then, hey, more is the merrier.
For sure. And like, here's my thing with it too, man. I'm gonna just put it out there. Like, obviously we had the episode of the Netflix documentary, right? And they showed
Unreal.
a lot. Unreal,
Mhm.
yeah. Shout outs to us. We interviewed the director of Unreal. But the big glaring thing was the whole Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair fiasco and drama. Here's my problem with wrestling fans, and it might be a success for this reason. People care more about what's going on in drama and backstage stuff and all of that, sometimes more than they care about what they're watching on television.
Absolutely. Right.
Honestly, there are times where I find that stuff more interesting than what's on TV, just in general. I just find that my favorite part of this is the people that were outraged over this. And I'm going, but you're online to find out about this stuff, but because they're showing it to you, now you're upset. Does this make sense?
And the other thing is like the big thing with Total Divas. I didn't watch it full on, but I've seen clips, and I know that a lot of it is obviously like all right. Let's talk about the Bellas. I think that was the show, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Total Bellas.
It made me look
Divas,
at
yeah.
John Cena in a weird way.
Oh, yeah, he was not. He was nuts with the house rules or something. I remember
and
seeing those clips.
And I'm just like, yo, I love this is my guy that I watched as a kid, but now I'm looking at him like, yo, you're kind of like crazy, dude. And it brings it to me. I'll be real with you. I feel like those who want to do it, I don't know if you really like want to. I feel like you want to be a pro wrestler for the glamour and glitz rather than being a pro wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's plenty of those. Yeah,
there's plenty of those.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you look, man. You go to the PC. This is why a lot of these people they end up getting released and they don't ever come back to pro wrestling. But they have a big career after it. And this is no shade on them, by the way.
No,
do what you got to do to make your
Mhm.
money, and you use your fame for that reason. But like, I guess it's the target audience, and for me, I feel like kayfabe should still be a little bit sacred. Like, it doesn't need to be completely, like how it was. But I don't know. We're going a little too much into people's personal lives sometimes.
I have no problem with something like Unreal when you're showing the stuff that happened months prior. I don't want to see it during the moment. Like, I don't want to see Raw just end it with Cena getting taken out, and then the episode of Unreal airs, and it shows you literally, hey, thanks for doing that for me. I don't want to see it then.
Yeah,
you
that's
show
fair.
it to me 3
The Rock
4 months from now.
Drinking out the tequila bottles.
Yes. I have no problem seeing it after, but don't show it to me during the heat of the feud. That's all. That's all. That's my thing.
Yeah,
that's fair.
We got a couple comments though. See, Total Drama Island.
Great show, man.
Hey man, I thought you was talking about Love Island for a second.
No,
one.
no, I don't watch that, bro.
I am stunned WWE has not done a Survivor just with their people.
Oh, Johnny Morrison was on Survivor once.
He was.
Was he?
Yeah,
I think so.
Years ago he was.
Yeah.
My wife watched the Survivor. She's like, "Yo, there's a wrestler on this season that I'm watching." I was like, "Who's like John Morrison?" I was like, "Makes sense. He would be on that."
Bro, he's nuts, bro.
Johnny
Especially
TV.
Hardcore. Yeah.
Mary saying, "Let the girls have privacy. Have their place in privacy." She's not a fan of it. Fernando saying, "Reality TV is trash." Matt Williams is saying that wrestlers are really entertaining, usually good on competitive shows like Big Brother, Luchasaurus. Yep, Survivor.
What? For real?
Yeah.
Luchasaurus was on Big Brother?
I didn't know that either.
Yes.
Granted, I don't
that
even
I know.
what,
I don't watch it, but I've
real?
heard that.
I don't know what Luchasaurus
I've never seen
looks
Big
like.
Brother. My friends love that show, but I've never seen it.
And then he also said, I like wrestlers interacting. So that I like them interacting with people. I like when they go on interviews. I like when they go on podcasts. Stuff like that is fun.
No, for sure. Yeah.
But
I like that type of stuff. I'm with you.
But let's get to this last topic because we are to predict the War Games matches. Obviously, there's 2 War Games matches, guys. So we're going to go ahead and do both. I'm going to give y'all the floor. You give me your men's and you give me your women's one, and we will go in rotation. Dez, I will start with you, man. What is your War Games match?
All right, I'm going to start off with the women's. I was actually thinking about this at work. So I got Charlexa. I got Rhea Ripley, who's going to return. I don't know when she's going to return. Maybe MSG, maybe even in Boston. I'm not sure. Io Sky, the returning AJ Lee, will take on the team of Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, and then the greatest woman wrestler on the company right now. Not even Sports Illustrated saying it. Bleach Report is not even saying it. But Wrestling Republic here is saying that it's going to be Becky Lynch. And then for the guys, this one is a bit of an interesting one because I thought Dom Cena was going to happen at Survivor Series. I've left that boat. Now I'm going to move on to a different one. So I got CM Punk, John Cena, Roman Reigns, the Usos taking on Brock Lesnar, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Logan Paul, and I might get flack for this, but I'm going to throw it out. I'm going to say Austin Theory, but they're not going to reveal it yet. I feel like they're going to wait till Survivor Series for him to do it.
Okay, so you got Austin Theory being the newest member of the Vision.
I do.
By doing that. Okay. I don't agree, but I respect
Fair
it.
enough.
And what's your picks?
Okay, I think that the women's one, I think Dez is spot on. I do think because they got to do the obligatory EO needs to jump off with a trash can on her because that's just they do it every year. It's now a tradition. The men's, I do think Dez is correct with that, except I don't think it's going to be Austin Theory. I don't think anybody cares about Austin Theory. I legitimately, I'm sorry, no one cares about Austin Theory. Cena couldn't get him over. Like no one, like Cena buried him in that promo leading into 39, and I remember going, even if he wins, he's not going to get the dirt off of him that Cena threw on him. It's just not happening. I don't know who the other person's going to be, but I don't think it's Austin Theory, to be honest with you. It's probably going to be somebody else, but I just don't see it being Theory, to be honest. I don't know who they're going to pull in. Maybe somebody from NXT. Maybe they'll bring somebody up. Maybe, you know what I mean? I just don't see it.
Okay.
That's fair.
So, okay, got that. So it's, and of course, in War Games nature, it's 5 versus 5, right?
Right.
They alternate. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 4. But yeah, I mean,
like
they'll probably go 5.
Though.
They'll probably go 5.
For the women, I'm gonna give them my 5.
I
think I'm gonna go this. I'm on the heel side. I'm gonna go with Asuka, Kairi Sane, Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, and Becky Lynch. On the babyface side, I'm gonna go Rhea Ripley. I'm gonna go Io Sky. I'm gonna go Nikki Bella. I'm gonna go AJ Lee, and I'm gonna go a returning Liv Morgan. Coming back, coming for vengeance. Going against those girls that did her dirty. I think that'd be interesting. I don't know how the dynamic of the match is going to be great or not. Who knows? Right. But it could be interesting on that standpoint. On the men's side, I think I got a lot of what y'all saying, man. I know it's going to be centered around the vision. So obviously it'll be the 3, Bronson, Braun, and Logan Paul. Now, I think Brock Lesnar will be part of it. That 5th person is going to be the one that is a dice roll. And
I know. I agree.
Who that could be, it's a tough one. I feel like it's got to be someone that has some bit of ties to Paul Heyman in a way. And I don't know.
There's one guy I'm thinking of, but I don't know. Like, if it's not Theory, it's going to be probably Jay, and then LA Knight fills in. But the problem is, I don't know. Like, that's the big question mark. I'm with you guys. I literally don't know who's going to join.
I do think Jay's going to turn heel. I do. I think he's going to likely be a heel against Jimmy. So, but I don't know. They could throw LA Knight in there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
They could throw AJ Styles in there.
Y'all think Cena's going to be in the War Games
last
match?
One.
I do. I have a prediction actually. Who I think
you don't think so? Because a lot of people think he's going to wrestle Dom for the.
I think he's wrestling Dom.
I don't. I think they're going to run Ray and Dominic. It's perfect, man. San Diego, Ray and Dominic in a stadium. I think it writes itself.
Won't be a bad one.
Only if it was Ray's retirement match. But I don't see Ray retiring the same year as Cena and AJ. I think they'd spread it out.
I don't think Ray's doing the War Games match.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
No, I was just thinking like
that'd be great, though. I think the prediction I have is I think
Styles
Cena
has never done one though.
Yeah,
so that's why only reason why I'm thinking there's a possibility he gets in that.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we got number 1 Superfly. He got a nice one. He said for men's, he got Punk, Jay, Jimmy, Knight, and Roman versus Braun, Bronson, Brock, Oba, and Omos.
Oh, come on. You're not getting Oba and Omos with that group. Come on.
Nah, I don't see it, bro.
That's kind of crazy. And then for the women's, he got Lyra, Bailey, Io, Charlotte, and Alexa versus Roxanne, Raquel. Okay. Oh, yeah, Alexa and Charlotte. I guess they're feuding with the Kabuki Warriors. But he got Liv Morgan on the heel side. I don't think Liv is coming back as a heel.
I don't think she is coming back at all, guys. Man. I think she's coming back at 2026.
First and foremost, respectfully, by the way, when I say this, I saw a picture of her yesterday at the Stranger Things thing.
Yeah.
She looks yoked. Like she looks
she does look pretty
very yoked in her dress, and she looked like she'd been training. I don't think she comes back as a heel. The babyface pop for her when fans see her return is gonna be like crazy.
Oh, absolutely crazy.
I'm with you. The thing is, it's probably the Rumble. and I don't know.
I don't think it's going to be the Rumble, honestly, because that was my pick, but I don't know. I feel like they're going to announce it before the Rumble because I feel like it's going to be really tough to get surprises. They're going to be in Saudi Arabia, man. It's
I
going
know
to be really hard to hide
that's
that.
the problem with that.
Her and I think her and Raquel is because they've done a very, very good job building Raquel up.
Show.
I think her and Raquel would be a big time one-on-one match. Obviously, Raquel kind of betraying her friend and whatnot. And
right.
She said, "Keep Nikki off of War Games."
I don't think she's gonna. I think she's gonna face Stephanie. That's my prediction. I think.
Sean, I think this is a great shot by her as well. Ray and Dom, the next AAA show.
Yeah,
that'd be a smart move.
We spoke about that briefly also on the Tuesday Monday Night Raw review episode 2, and I think that's I think they have a lot of matches against each other in the look, man. I said it on Tuesday, and I'll say it now. I think Dominic Mysterio is the next main event guy in that WWE roster. He's how perfectly he has mastered the Eddie Guerrero heel tactics, but added it to his own twist. Like that, I'm sorry, that's stuff you can't that's some good textbook stuff that he's done.
Can I tell you how proud I am of that? Is because I literally wrote a piece when he was a babyface and went, he needs to embrace the inner Guerrero. And the fact that he keeps succeeding, and I'm going, I called this.
Yeah. I'm with you. It was the right call.
He's doing it correctly, man. But that is all the time that we have today. Thank you guys, Anthony and Des, for being on the show with me. It's been a blast. Thank you to everybody in the comments. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the page if you haven't, if you're new over here. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. And keep rocking with us, man. WR stuff. We out. Y'all have a great weekend.